Today is Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. We're walking Zealand Road. It's going to be mid to upper 70s down low today. And we are just going to mosey on out to a bushwhack, to a peak that is not on any list that we know of. But John did it last week while I was away. And it looked pretty cool. So we're going to go back and do South Sugarloaf. But we're going to do a different route. So last week, John went up Hale on Halebrook Trail. And then came down, and if you look on a map, you can see like a ridge that goes on out there to a bump, and then it kind of turns and goes to South Sugarloaf, and it's around 3,200 feet, I think. And he whacked that direction, and it encountered very, very steep cliffs, and I don't know, it was kind of a mess. And we don't need a 4,000 footer today, so we're gonna, and then he came down south, kind of between the call for south and middle-ish.
I was aiming for the call.
Aiming for the call. So, and along that way, he found like a forest road, abandoned forest road or logging road, or maybe it's not abandoned, I don't even know. So we are going to go up, start on that road, and then bushwhack up. It had nice views up there. There was a canister, a register to sign. It was on the ground, right? In a cairn. Summit cairn. It looks pretty neat. So we're just gonna go do that. And yeah, use slope angle shading when you're planning your bushwhacks. All right, so we just passed the entrance to the Sugarloaf Trestle Trail trailhead. Literally just past it. This is an entrance to the Spruce Goose cross-country trail there, and this is the road, and my water is leaking in my pack.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to fix that. All right, I am 2.3 miles in, and all of it has basically been road walk. So you road walk in to the beginning of this on Zealand Road, and then you take this snowmobile trail up, which is the Sugarloaf Snowmobile Trail. And it leaves Zealand Road right after the entrance to the Trestle Trail. So we've been on this the whole time, and now we're going to set off towards middle.
No, not towards middle.
No, towards
south.
Towards south. That's what we're doing today. South, right. We're kind of in the call between south and middle. I can kind of see middle through the trees. You had some nice views of it as you came in on the road. It is a snowmobile trail. It's not a real road, so it's got lots of boggy areas. And
It's not on a map. That's a weird thing.
yeah, it's not on the map, on Gaia, which I don't understand. But maybe I'll go home and look at the snowmobile maps for the area. We'll see. It's definitely a snowmobile trail. And yeah, I haven't put on long sleeves yet. Should I put on long sleeves?
You can wait and see.
Well, you've done this. You tell me.
I can't remember. You know I have trail amnesia.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, so here's the thing. I was totally covered. I had on gaiters. I had on
right, because you were in the snow. Yeah.
I knew I was going to be doing this, so it didn't make an impression on me how much I punched through.
Okay. It's really quite warm. I'd rather not put on, but I think I am going to put on our trusty Alpine Starts. It's a good layer for bushwhacking. All right, we're going to set off now. We are in an area of new growth. I'm doing my video. It's a little bit pokey getting through stuff like this. I did put my Alpine Start on, and it was a good thing because it was, the beginning was a lot of hobble bush and kind of older dead branches like firs where the bottom branches are all dead. And now we're in this. We're both wearing bushwhacking leggings, which are quite nice. It's really warm. I wish I had on shorts, but not for this. It's pretty though, huh? All right, I gotta catch up. Okay, we have successfully navigated the cliffs around South Sugarloaf. And now we're just kind of heading uphill. Summit is up in this bump area. So the worst of the bushwhacking is over. I'm sort of following,
Hard path of some kind.
a hard path maybe, I don't know. And when we are sitting down up there, I'll shoot a video and show you what the slope angle shading looks like on South Sugarloaf and why it's important to understand what that's like. I think it's easiest to go to the right because I don't want to climb over a blowdown. There's John ahead of me. And I don't know if it's visible, but this is a 20-foot crevasse filled with snow down at the bottom. Jeez. It's crazy. Oh, it won't show. Super deep crevasse here. With water just pouring off the edge. Some snow down there. It's 30 feet. It really is freaky. We just popped out of the trees right here. It got pretty hairy there near the end. And I'll show a video on my phone where I can zoom in and show you nicer shots of the Willie Range and presidentials. Let's see, I gotta get over to the summit. There's a cairn right there with the register. Wow, this is way nicer than I thought it would be. I thought it was completely wooded. And there's the register. Oh, there's also a jar in there. I'll take a look. In a minute. There it is. Presidentials. Oh, this is Middle Sugarloaf right there. This is I think it's the Rosebrook Range with Oscar and Rosebrook. We've got Field. Actually, I guess that's Tom, Field, and Willie. We can see Westfield. This is Hale. I guess this is Z Cliff right here. And then the edge of the Twins. And then distant peaks. I can walk over that way and take a look. Very cool. Mount Martha. Mount Dartmouth and Deception. In the foreground right there. This is South Sugarloaf. Okay, so I checked. This is, of course, Mount Martha, Cherry Mountain. It's a 52 with a view. And behind that is Cabot. It's weird because Cabot is on the left. I don't know if you can see it. Of this ridge back here. Cabot is actually behind that ridge. And so it's the first thing, which is really strange. And then Wambeck and Starking. And then coming around Mount Deception, and then of course more south, middle Sugarloaf. The Presidentials. Mount Rosebrook in the foreground. And then Oscar is one of those, I think, and Stickney and Echo are at that foreground. There's Eisenhower in the middle. Pierce, Jackson, Tom, Field, Willie. I think this is a bump on Hale. It might be South Hale. And this, oh, that was a white-throated sparrow. This is not Hale, even though it's looming and I can't see Hale. This is a bump before Hale. So when John bushwhacked off of there, he wanted to go kind of over it, and he hit cliff bands in there. It was hairy. And then this is the edge of North Twin and peak above the Nubble right there. And we have distant views out to the north. You can see, with the naked eye, you can see Camel's Hump and Mount Mansfield. It says you can see Jay Peak. It's pretty hazy. I can't see it, but there are views. We're gonna sign the register. John said the canister actually has like nothing in it and it was wet inside, and the jar is what you sign. So I'm interested to see if anybody has been up here since he was up last week. We are back on the Sugarloaf snowmobile trail. We popped out basically where we started, which is right here. There's a little sign on the tree for the snowmobile trail coming that way. So we are really close to where we went in. 4.25 miles for me. John and I kind of wander in different directions on the way up. On the way down, I was pretty much with him. It's about a mile out there, I think, right? From here. And it took us 55 minutes coming down. I can't remember what it took going up. I thought it was like an hour or 10, maybe. I don't know. But we did not go by those giant crevasses. There are still crevasses in there, but not like those ones that we encountered on the way up. Those were like 30 feet deep. Crazy. But very interesting. So now we're just gonna take this right back to Zealand Road and walk out from the Sugarloaf trailhead. Should be another 2.3 miles, so a little over 6.5 for the day. It was excellent. I neglected to shoot the video up at the summit that I said I would do to show why slope angle is important when you are bushwhacking. So this has our route from today. I should have changed the colors on them. And John's route from the other day. And basically, the darker stuff is like this is black over here. These are like vertical cliffs. And so this was his route coming off of Hale, because this darker line is our other routes using Halebrook Trail. And so he went here, he avoided that cliff. That's good. But then, let's see. I think he was planning to kind of go over this bump and hook around, and as you can see, that whole thing is just a cliff. And it looks like he threaded the needle. That might have been the only way to go. I don't know. I mean, that is looking pretty hairy in there. Wow, and that's all black. So it looks like he went right along the bottom of the cliff right there. Came through there, that's good. Came along the bottom of a cliff here, and then as he was going up, hit a little bit of a cliff there. I mean, probably should have come around like that. Yes, so then today, and then he came off over here. Today, and see, this was his going down. He didn't think to look at slope angle, and so he got into this, which is very steep, grabbing trees. Luckily it wasn't like open cliff, but super steep. So we just tried to shoot for this. Anything that's like blue or black is really, really steep. And red is steep also, but I think the blue and the black are the steeper. So we just kind of came around, shot through there, and then it was okay heading back up. Yep, and then this is when we got on the road. You can see that was fine. So yeah, and this is what Middle Sugarloaf looks like. Yeah, so if you were thinking you would bushwhack over to Middle Sugarloaf, I think that you might be able to get through right here, but you might have to come all the way around to somehow get up there. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll try that sometime, but that's why slope angle is important. You know, you don't want to hit a cliff either going up or down. So, all right. Other than that, today was much less eventful than when John did it by himself, I guess.